promise to God and your spouse. So I feel like the church does more with that, but like people might use it as a bad thing to be single because the church doesn't like celebrate being single, you know?
Yeah, there's no big celebration. There's no sacrament involved. Like there's no ceremony. It's just like, yeah, you're single.
Yeah.
Just kind of show your shoulders. Okay.
Yeah.
Ronnie, what would you like to add to it?
I don't really know anything to add to it.
What do you have on your sticky note?
Huh?
What do you have on your sticky
I
note?
don't want to say it more.
So you're just copying and pasting what they say?
I'm not like, like it wasn't as prioritized because there's like a lot of people like in the church that work in the church that are single, like priests, and like some people like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Great point.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna pivot over to agree. Here's the thing. Here's the catch. I need 3 guys to speak, and I need 3 girls to speak. Michael.
Oh, okay. I agree because with marriage, the church like wants you to be like, wants you to make sure that that's what you want to go into because you're gonna be like committed to someone for the rest of your life. So I feel like the church prioritizes marriage because they don't want you to like go into marriage and not like. That's how divorces work because we go to marriage and it does not work out. They just kind of like have that rather than single life. I don't think they're missing out on God's best for their life. It's just that they have more like freedom to do whatever, pretty much.
Yeah. So the church isn't as really involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who else? I still need 2 more guys and 3 girls.
I wrote down that it's because it isn't really the church, but it's more like the people in the church.
Yes.
Because the people in the church, like usually you're expected to be married and to have kids, like by the time that you're like 30 or something. So if there are people out there who aren't called to that, then it just like, they aren't prioritized as much.
Yeah, I talked about this actually specifically last class too, and it's like it's not as much of it's specifically the people in the church. It's not maybe necessarily the church as a whole, but rather it's individuals within the church that are like questioning you, and it's like, so you're not married yet? And it's like, well, no. Like I know someone who was asked by a monk or told by a monk, like basically like, do you think that you're settling with this person? Or do you think, or not, where's my wording? Do you think that you were out of place by ending this relationship because you're just too picky? Because I'm afraid that you're just going to be single and alone for like the rest of your life. Like I don't want you to be 50 years old and single and alone. So someone, like people can still have opinions, even though he's a monk. He has his own opinions, right? So it's not the church, it's that individual has an opinion on that person's life. And they think that person's going to be alone, and they're going to be miserable if they're 50 and still single. See how, like, it's more of an individual rather than the church as a whole? So even though he's a monk, that's still his own personal belief. Alright, so I need still 2 more guys and 2 girls. Yes?
So, like, I agree, but I disagree at the same time because, like, from what I've seen to the church, from the church I go to, like, they offer a lot of, like, retreats for married couples. Retreat for women that are married and like same thing. But I also feel like as like you as an individual that are single, like you have to participate and get involved. And even the church doesn't have it, like just you like propose something like married.
Yeah, and it's like, well maybe you need to be the person to start the young adult group. Because young adult group is like majority of people who attend those are single people. And so like maybe you have to be the person to start something. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, they do have a lot of things for married couples, but then they also have some for single if you look hard enough. And maybe depending on the church's size, they may not have like a whole bunch at that parish if it's a smaller parish. All right, who else would like to add? Marshawn?
I said, I just think being married is like God's gift for you, so the church is pushing more towards being married than they are pushing you, especially the single. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Antonio?
I feel like they glorify marriage more than they do the single life. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the single life is like, oh, you're alone. You know what I mean? You have nobody.
Like it's looked down upon.
Right. But the marriage is more like people make it seem better than the single life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that they also talk a lot about if you're married, you have kids, and as a woman, like that's, I feel like they talk a lot about women, their purpose sometimes being having children, which is, I don't think that's like true, but they say that a lot, and to do that you need marriage. Maybe not, they don't push it as much in men, but like in women, marriage is very much like, you're getting old, like you should be married, like you have a kid, and the fruits of marriage, that's what I hear at the church.
Yeah, it's like you're just wasting time. You're wasting your eggs, like your ovaries, like they're getting old. So you gotta hurry up and get on that train. Well, it's like what people say. It's like, well, you're getting old, so you're, yeah. So like, you're the odds of having a more, what's the type of pregnancy called?
C-section.
Yeah. So the pregnancies, there's an increased risk in pregnancies the longer you wait. Yeah. So. Lots of different things we're going to hit on later today and next class. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
So I want you to flip over your sticky note and write your response. You can find a seat if you need to sit down and write. Be careful around Mrs. Jost, please.
I got too much job. Okay. You know what?
Alright.
Wait, so what? No.
Are you ready? How many of you by show of hands have seen Pride and Prejudice?
I
read it and I.
How many have read it or seen it?
Oh my.
Okay. Maybe like one or two more.
You're 30 years old.
Alright, here's the scenario. Okay? You are 30 years old. You are single with no prospects.
Oh my god.
So what does this mean? No one's in your DMs and you're in nobody else's DMs. Yeah. Alright, no. So here's the scenario. Alright? You are not currently dating anybody. It doesn't mean you haven't dated in the past or that you won't date in the future. It just means currently you're not dating anybody. You are not interested in anybody. You don't have your eyes on anybody. No one's cute right now. And no one's currently interested in you. Like no one's like pursuing you. No one's in your DMs. Nothing like that. Would you be happy with your life?
Yes.
I want you to write that on the sticky note. On the back side, I want you to tell me if you agree, disagree, strongly agree, or strongly disagree, and tell me why. I want your honest opinion, so don't discuss it with your neighbor, but give me your honest opinion. It doesn't mean that like at 32 you won't be married. It just means at 30 you are not.
Wait, is this a yes or no or like the
Agree, disagree.
Like in someone else's life or like in my life?
Your own personal life.
agree though.
Alright, we're discussing it.
What am I agreeing with?
I said, no, would you like,
But she said it's an agree, disagree.
Yes.
Yeah, so
yeah,
strongly,
like, would you agree that you're happy in your life?
so like you strongly agree you are happy. Agree like, yeah, I kinda think I'd be
But I
happy.
don't know.
That's okay. Give me what you think.
I don't know.
I said strongly disagree, but I feel like it's just
Alright?
I thought I would just
I know it's
say
hard.
disagree.
Paper cut. I didn't think those were still real.
For the sticky note, yes, paper's still real, so therefore you can
If
say
I'm not
yourself.
interested, then I'm not interested.
Just because you use computers all the time doesn't mean you're like exempt from getting paper.
Yeah,
I got it, son.
that's fine. I said disagree. Because like I feel like I'd be.
You have
know,
God.
You know, I don't like. I mean, I love
God
you.
not good enough.
You see the comments and be like, me and Jason don't gotta be stuck.
Alright, what I want you to do, I'm gonna give you just a couple more seconds. Maya, still me awake.
Maya hasn't wrote anything down yet.
You know what,
Maya.
I was thinking.
So much talking
You
about
have
it.
to think deep and nothing to have.
Bro.
GBC.
To go bowling.
JC go up.
No.
No.
You like me.
Alright, if you are still writing, I ask that you just like keep writing as you're walking, but be mindful of Mrs. Joseph in the camera. So, go ahead and head to your corner. Oh yeah, sorry.
You already know each other. That makes sense.
Oh, you're
She's not doing it.
maybe here. I mean, not like
What is your heart?
I'm gonna stay with you.
We'll have it.
So, are you struggling?
Yeah, Michael, don't strongly disagree.
That's not my name. I don't think.
You can go to disagree.
Michael, strongly disagree. Be by yourself.
Alright, every other corner, where are you all at? Agreed?
Disagree.
Where are you all at? You're disagree? Or where are you? Alright, I need you to pivot over there. Honey, I need you to No.
Just get a couple steps in.
This Gasper cannot tap me.
No,
Can I use this?
Alright, what we're gonna do first, where's my divide? Arleth, are you on that side?
Yeah.
Deja, are you on this side?
Yes.
Where are you all?
This side.
Or this side? This side? Okay.
Disagree.
I need one guy and two girls from disagree to share. Alright, so while they're sharing, we're gonna be quiet. We're gonna be respectful. Alright, so I need one guy and two girls to share from disagree. Why do you disagree?
I said I wouldn't be extremely happy, even though I wouldn't be extremely sad either. But if I have plans to be married by 30, then I'm not married by 30. I'm not going to be happy. But if it doesn't align with God's plan, it doesn't align with God's plan. But it doesn't remove the desire for me to be in this position, which I'm not in. So it doesn't make me happy.
That's an important aspect too, is like, we're trusting in God's plan as much as we possibly can, but it's hard because we have this desire on our heart. It's like, Lord, like, I desire this. I want to be married. I want to have kids, but like, why can't I have this yet? Like, why can't it be now? Why do I have to keep waiting? And so it's like God's asking you to like lean on Him and like give Him those pains because it's hard. I mean, you could ask like me, Julie, and Heather, like all of our struggles, and it's like, this is like something.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, Mom.
This is something that we struggle like within our own lives, and sometimes we'll go through waves. Like it's easier, and then it gets harder, but it is hard at times, and it's something you constantly have to try to have a positive outlook on. Because if you think so negatively on it, you'll just like end up in a pit of despair all the time. It's like, oh, it's never gonna happen to me. So, all right, one more girl and one guy. Shh, let's be quiet. Yeah.
I feel like at 30, I would already be like into my career, you know, be finished with all the school that I want to do. And so after I'm done with school, like obviously you think about like, okay, I have my job, I have my house, you know, following. I need my man too. I mean, yeah, no, I wouldn't be happy. Like, I don't have a man.
I would be satisfied.
I mean, I already have my man, so like, I'm already
I don't know where I stand on this.
I got that.
In the middle.
That's not an option.
No. I want you to choose a side. All right. Is that everybody? I need a guy.
So I feel like I wouldn't personally be happy because since it's human nature to make connections with people, and since conception we were made to be social beings, humans naturally yearn for companions. So I feel like once you're at 30, you're still anxious. Oh, will my forever person come, or should I enter single life? So.
Yeah, I knew a woman one time. She didn't find her like perfect spouse till she was like 45 years old.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. It's crazy to imagine. It's crazy to imagine, isn't it? But sometimes we don't have control. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen to everybody, so that's a little bit more rare. But sometimes we have to wait, and there's a reason for that. So this woman, let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. This woman also created a program called the Intentional Single. So she helps younger women. That's how Julie, Heather, and I all met.
Really?
Yes. So she created this program for women struggling with this desire in their hearts. It's like, how do I deal with this? How do I cope with this desire? And so she focused on this intentional single like program, and so it's focusing on this space in between. So what's this space in between? It's who you are today and who you're becoming. So instead of focusing so much on like, I want to be married, I want to have this type of life, focus on who you are as a person and grow individually as yourself. And then God will place the right person in your life at the right time for that state in your life. So we don't get so caught up on like, I need this now, but focus on the present because it is a gift.
Like, I had a question. What can the devil do the same thing though?
Like get into our minds.
Yeah, like bring somebody that's not meant to be there.
So people can come into our lives, and then it's our choice if we want to pursue them or not. So like, yes, that person may not be the right person for us. So like, say you want to get into a relationship with someone, and maybe they're not like, you end up like discerning, it's like, okay, this person isn't my forever person. The whole purpose of relationships is to discern as to whether or not that person is your future spouse. So my mindset whenever I go into relationships is, how can I make this person better so that if they're not in like a I need to change you mindset, but more in like, how can I help you become a better person with the time I've been given to you? Like, we have been blessed with each other. So like, how can I prepare that person for their future spouse, whether it be me or not? So like, if you were to get out of a relationship, so like say you have an ex or something like that, can you look back and say, I made that person a better person?
Yes.
That is the ultimate test. And it's like, were you a blessing in that person's life or were you not? Alright, now green. Yes, Maria.
I said I agree because like I can relate to the statement, not with every single word of it, but I can relate because that's my current life and it's not causing me any anxiety or like sadness. But I know like once I turn 30, like the scenario and like the pressure is gonna change. But I also feel like if I'm not interested in anybody, like I will be okay. I'm not dying for anybody, and I'll just pray for like and wait for the indicator once it comes.
Alright, I need one more person to add to that from a disagree. Maya.
I said I would disagree because it's like Maria said, like I don't like find like a desire, like I don't need somebody in order to be happy with myself, and like if I'm not interested in anybody, nobody's interested in me, it's for a reason. And so I feel like at that point I'd have to be happy with my life, because if I'm not happy with myself, I'm not gonna make somebody else happy with my life.
Exactly. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. Alright, then we're going to pivot to strongly agree, and I need two of you all to speak.
I put, because I'm still kind of young and I can't out of freedom.
Anything else?
So what you saying, with a cheat?
No, he's not in a relationship anymore.
Yeah.
No, he's saying if he was 30, single, with no prospects. In this scenario. Alright, someone else? What can you add?
I said yeah, I'll be happy, because maybe I'll probably want to be like married or something, but in reality I still find happiness through other things like my family, friends, my career. So there's like many things that will keep you happy in life, whether you're still seeking marriage or not. Like that wouldn't fully like ruin the happiness for you, because you can still find joy in that.
That's beautiful. I agree. Alright, what I need you to do is go ahead and move back to your seats. Move back to your seats. And go ahead and get out your notebooks for me, please, and we're going to start taking notes. Angel, what are you doing?
Can I use it so I think my voice better? No, it's still going.
Yes. Go ahead and whenever you sit down in your seats, pass those sticky notes up and I'll collect them. No, you still have 13 more minutes. Alright, go ahead and Alright, go ahead and pass them this way and get out your notebook. Should you have devices out?
Who's stopping?
Alright, go ahead and get out your notebooks. Antonio, your seat is not in the back. Why are you all the way back here doing it?
I got my phone.
Well, don't give it back to me if it's your pencil.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, just head back to your shoes.
That was in my head.
Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the 8 truths of the single life. Okay? So we're gonna cover 1 through 4 today, and we're gonna cover 5 through 8 next class. So if you have your devices out, go ahead and put them away from me, please. Alright, number 1, singleness is a gift, not a burden. Singleness is a gift, not a burden. Number 2, singleness is a time for growth and service. Number 3, your worth is not defined by a relationship. Your worth is not defined by a relationship.
What is this?
This is for whenever we have like fire drills and we gotta go outside.
Oh, that was in the past.
That's not the past, so.
Okay, so your worth is not defined by a relationship. Can anyone tell me who's in this picture?
You.
Me. Does anybody know who else? There's no Lucy.
Heather, Jacinta.
Heather's not. Jacinta is.
Julie.
Julie is. And then Julie's cousin is the one in front. So this is Julie, and then me, and then Jacinta, and then Abby. I went and saw Jacinta this weekend because she's pregnant and she had a baby shower. You cannot say this to everyone, but I told her she looked like a beach whale and she laughed because she agreed to it. Because get this, it's our
Not
humor.
very charitable.
It was a joke, and she laughed, and she's like, I know, and I'm only gonna get bigger. Because like she's literally this big and still has like 5 more weeks. She's due the 8th of April, and she's literally huge.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a surprise. So I'll keep you all posted. I'll let you know in a month.
I thought she was in the hospital.
She was, and she had a miracle. Yes, so her placenta erupted, and it like detached from.
Get it out of there.
But the thing was, so there was a case, guys, be quiet. So, praise be to God, the placenta started to reattach to the uterine wall.
Wow.
It was like a miracle. Even the doctor came in and said like, it was an absolute miracle. Do you want to know whose feast day it was? Saint Jacinta.
Hey.
Yeah, like but so like the baby is 100% healthy, and so they're hoping that she can make it full term now because there are no signs of the placenta like detaching from the wall.
What is the placenta?
So it's an organ that the woman creates for the baby to live.
It's like the
Yeah, it's the womb.
Yeah, that's a bit too big for me.
I just needed a reminder.
Like, is Gasper there? Does she look good?
No, she lives in Michigan. Where? Michigan. Alright, number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4, singleness is not loneliness. Okay? Number 5, waiting for God's timing is important.
I thought we were going to like Christmas.
I know, but I'm giving you all 8, and then we're gonna expand on them. So this is like the outline of what we're gonna hit on. Something? Number 6, purity and intentionality matter. We're gonna touch on that a little bit this unit, and then we're gonna hit on that more whenever we talk about marriage. Seven, both singleness and marriage glorify God. Both singleness and marriage glorify God. And lastly, you could argue it's the most important one. God's plan may be different than yours. God's plan may be different than yours. Sometimes it's easier to say than to actually believe it. Alright, and when you're done, I want you to look at me so I know you're done. Antonio, go ahead and get these notes from someone else. No, I'm not. Or email me and I can send you what we Antonio. See ya. Huh? Alright, so God's plan may be different than yours. How many of you are still writing? Not the entire time, but we will be taking this over 5 through 8. Ronnie, can you shut that door? Huh? No, not too many. We're just going over the 1 through 4, and it's a slide each. Alright. As you seek a virtuous spouse, it is fitting you be the same. You can if you want to live by it. I don't think it would be beneficial for your life. You can write it down.
Can you go back real quick?
Alright.
Can you go back real quick? I can be number 8.
Get it from a friend. Alright, why do you think this is important when discussing the single life? Why is this important when discussing the single life? You're thinking.
Because you have to make yourself a virtuous spouse.
Yes. So it's so easy for us to create this checklist of what we desire in a future spouse, right? Yeah? It's like, I want them to look XYZ, I want them to act XYZ, I want them to have these characteristics. So we create a list in our head, or maybe it's on paper. So we have this list, we have this idea, but if you were to take this list, let's be quiet please. If you were to take this list and apply it to your own life, do you see yourself resembling that? Or do you set the expectations for your future spouse higher than what you set the expectations for yourself? Oftentimes we do. So we don't want to apply or grow to be a virtuous person. It's hard. But if we expect someone who's a virtuous person, someone who's going to lead us to heaven and not further away, then it's fitting that we be the same and be someone who's leading them to heaven at the same time. So it's important to cultivate this type of lifestyle now, because it's a gift, not a burden. Can someone read me this Bible passage?
I should like you to be free of anxieties. An unmarried man is anxious about the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But a married man is anxious about the things of the world, how he may please his wife, and he's divided. An unmarried woman or a virgin is anxious about the things of the Lord, so that she may be holy in both body and spirit. A married woman, on the other hand, is anxious about the things of the world, how she may please her husband. I am telling you this for your own benefit, not to impose a restraint upon you, but for the sake of authority and adherence to the Lord without distraction.
So what I want you to realize is in verse 35, we hear God tell us that he's telling us this. So it's God working through Paul. He's telling us this. Why? So that we may adhere to the Lord without distraction. What does that mean? Grow and foster a deeper relationship with God and the time that we have been given now. Because it's hard, because whenever you're married, you're focused on other things, right? You have like a million things going around all at once. You're like a little pinball machine going one thing to another. Why? Because you have a spouse. Maybe you have kids. maybe you have to take them to school, maybe you have to pick them up.